Hello, everybody. So I'm just kind of setting the space and the tone for tonight as I give everyone a chance to hop on. And you might see me looking back and forth like here and there. So I'm actually live in 2 different places right now. I have Facebook going on over here and I have YouTube over here. So I see a few people actually starting to hop on in both places. And if you guys want a reading tonight, all you have to do is just say the magic words that you'd like to get a reading. I always make sure that I see that there's a comment that you're actually asking for the reading before I just decide that I see your name and assume that you want one. So what you can put here tonight is if there's a specific question that you have. It could be, of course, just a general business reading, or I'd like to start a business, like have no idea where to start. Like, what are you getting from me? I'd love a reading. Or it could be something more specific. So whatever your question is, put it there. Hi, Sunshine on YouTube. And then I see Chelsea here. Chelsea is actually the person that helps me moderate. If YouTube, it was my last or my first week last week. So you guys didn't get to meet Chelsea, but I'm hoping that she'll be on both YouTube and Facebook. And she just helps me and everyone else just keep track of who's going next and allows me just to do my thing. And she makes it all flow really smoothly. Hi, Sarah. Okay, so it looks like Sarah's the first one. I'll let Chelsea confirm that, but it looks like Sarah's the first one that's like explicitly asked for a reading. So if you've sort of chimed in or just did a hello, make sure that you're claiming your spot now. I've been finding these last several weeks, especially, that people are, and I'm just sort of getting my Palo Santo wood. If you see me looking down, I'm getting that going just to kind of clear the, uplift the energy a little. That usually as I get to the halfway point around 7:30 Pacific, that we start to get more people hopping on than I can get to. I feel like it totally just depends. We get different things going on every single week. So please make sure, and Sunshine on YouTube, yes, definitely ask your question and get in line. And Chelsea, can you comment to me on Facebook? Because I see you're on Facebook. Chelsea, were you able to get onto YouTube to help me set the flow or whatever we call it? But yes, Sarah, you're going to be first. Okay. Palo Santo wood. Okay. So I do this for my cards. I do this in my office. I just want to have a really clear, energetic space. I don't want it to get too smoky in here. It's not good for pregnancy, but just enough to really uplift it. Okay. Okay. So Chelsea is on both. So Chelsea, if you can just help me tonight know between, I think as of right now, we have Sarah and then Sunshine on YouTube. If you can help me know, there is did Jamie ask as well? And Jamie asked after that. Okay. So Chelsea's going to be the one letting me know who's next. I'm not sure with YouTube how we're going to fit it in, but I'll make sure I'm watching out for you YouTubers as well. Okay. So Sarah, I'm going to scroll up because I think you had a specific question. Oh, okay. I'm still working on my gifts. I'd love to know where I'm at with my gifts, please. Okay. Okay, Sarah, I'm going to just tune into you for a moment. And then I'll be back. But if I go quiet or it looks like I'm not doing anything, that's what I'm doing. Okay. 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 Sarah, do you do like burn sage or Palo Santo or other types of herbs as well, because I got this sense as I was like just pausing and tuning into you, that it felt like a familiar smell that you sort of liked and enjoyed. So I guess I'm just curious if that's something that's a part of like one of your rituals or routines or something that you happen to do on full moons, because that was the first sense that I got, that you really liked that that sense. Okay. So it's interesting. As of right now, there's two cards, Sarah. You do okay. There's two cards that I pulled for you. It's talking about this end of a phase or situation, that you're in the middle of this spiritual transformation, and that it's time to move on as well. It's this release card, Archangel Azrael. So I'm gonna show you guys both the card, and it feels the sense that I'm getting right now is that it's time to change things up. I don't know if you've had like however you're learning, it feels like there's that you've sort of learned all that maybe you have to know, or if you're going to be learning something more than what you're going to learn, or in a different way, that there might be a new teacher that's calling to you. And that could be someone that's actually like meeting with you live in person, where you're going to classes, or it could be someone where you're like buying their books or accessing information online or through workshops. But I get the sense that it feels like you might have learned all that you have to know, like at the moment, at least. I feel like most of the time our learning and growth is like a spiral. So I am feeling like for you to continue on in accessing gifts, that there's something that you need to open yourself to. Are you wanting to see more? Because I feel I'm hearing that you're asking to see things or get more visuals, that you're sort of wanting to access information in different ways. Sarah, is that correct? That you feel like you want to you're wanting to have this experience of I guess what I would call seeing more than you are right now? I'm just waiting to see if Sarah responds. Okay. Well, Sarah, you're probably typing to me, but let me know about that, because I have something to say to you about that. The other card, and it's interesting because I looked at the other card and it's really tied to what I was going to say. The other card it's this ego card, and it's talking about this false sense of entrapment, being overly focused on material things or negative or fear-based thoughts. And I read to you what the words are on the card, but I then will tell you what I'm getting for you with this card specifically. You're clairvoyant and you've been feeling blocked. Okay. So there's what I'm getting for you is that there's something about how you're receiving the information, that it almost, that it used to feel one way and it feels different now. And that some of what the feeling of the blocked, how it's talking about this false sense of entrapment, that some of that is you putting some of your judgments or projections on how you're getting and receiving the information. It might be because it feels different in your body, than it used to, or that it's just becoming more natural to you, that it used to be like some big experience and now you're having these doubts with it. But everything that I'm getting from you in this, for you in this reading, is really that it's something that is not actually blocked, but it's your own perception that's blocking it and getting in the way of you actually just giving the information. And I think that that's the other part of it as well, is I feel like you're that person that needs to be challenged, that needs to constantly sorry, I have another thing coming in right now. The other thing that's coming in right now is that there's that you need to be working with your stones more, that whether it's gemstones or crystals. I almost actually see you building a grid. I don't know if you've gotten into building grids at all, but I feel like there's something with crystals, gemstones, and building of grids that sort of is like this next part of the journey for you. I'm curious if that's something that you have ever had an interest to or calling. It also feels a little bit of sacred geometry mixed in there as well, of sort of playing with the energies of the space and inviting in these different energies. But yeah, just keep in mind that the first card that I was reading for you about that it's time for you to find like your next teacher inspiration, that I feel like that's a part of it. And that I just want you to keep in mind right now that you're not blocked, that you might be feeling like you're blocked, but you're not actually blocked. Tell me more if that makes sense, Sarah. Okay. And then your own doubt. Yes. One of my favorite people from Body Studios, Lucinda, who's been one of my teachers, is she's talked a lot to me, and it was like an aha moment, is that she talked to me about how when we have something that just comes naturally to us, that we just assume that everyone else can do it and that it's not really a gift, or that we're not really doing anything. And when she said it in the way that she said it to me, I had a big aha moment. And you said the crystal part landed as well. Okay. And just as a side note, I'll tell you, with me and being 5 months pregnant, that the first trimester of my pregnancy this time, I really thought that I was like broken. I felt like everything felt different. I used to get these like really strong, like, sensations, or I could literally feel my vibration going through the roof, and something changed. I don't know if I had like a more grounded energy, and I thought like all of a sudden that I like a switch turned off. This wasn't even that long ago, but then I realized from just doing the readings that something felt different. But as long as I just trusted it, like everything was still landing and coming out. It just didn't like feel like it used to feel. So I don't know if that, for what it's worth. Okay. Thanks, Sarah. So Chelsea says we're going to do sunshine from YouTube, and then I'm going to come back to Facebook, and Jamie and Tammy are going to be next on Facebook. Okay. And then Chelsea, if you haven't shared to the pages that we usually share to, or to my business page, if you could do that for me in the background. And someone else is watching with us on YouTube that hasn't chimed in. Who else is here on YouTube other than Sunshine? If you want a reading, say hello. Okay. And before I dive into Sunshine, I wanted to tell you guys that I posted on YouTube today on my channel. If you just search Ashley Bradley, like it'll be pretty obvious which one is me. I think there's two people that pop up. You'll see that I actually did a business reading for the week of July 1st. So I'm going to start posting a lot more on that platform, and I'll bring the videos into Facebook as well, as much as I can. But if you want to just get in on like how I'm feeling the energy of business in general for us, so that you can be aware of any things to be mindful of, check that one out. And with Sunshine, she says, will I find the right online degree program for myself soon? The one that I was going to do. Okay. Okay. So Sunshine, it sounds like you're wanting like more clarity on an online degree program. I wasn't sure about the last part of the question, but I'll just, it was a hard decision to make, to not go through with it, but I had to listen to my mind, body, and the sign spirit was showing me like something else better. Okay. Yeah. Let me see what I'm getting for that. I have, I guess, an immediate sense just of your energy, and it comes through like just of what I was doing with the cards with my hands, like right as I'm about to connect with you. I just felt like I was like, I typically like might shuffle them once and just be done with it. And I'll tell you the significance, but I kept like rearranging it or feeling like I needed to do it again. And so I get the sense from your energy that's already coming through before we dived into the reading that there's certainly this sense of almost like looking in too many places, that it just feels like it's feeling very overcomplicated, that you're trying to be so thorough that it feels like almost excessive, and that it's like putting more like stress or like mental strain on you. And so I just want you to be aware of that, because I do feel it's not overpowering, but it's like kind of that slight sense of anxiousness that's in the background. And it's also this sense of like that you always have to be busy, that you are not okay with just like pausing, which makes me feel like you sometimes are defining your success only through what you do. And I really want you to be aware of that and start redefining that for yourself before you dive into this next chapter, because I think that that's going to have a lot to do with your own fulfillment. Okay, so I'm reading for you first the challenge part, and then I just want to talk to you a little bit about purpose. I guess I just have the sense that that the purpose card that we talk about, that it might spring a thought or a idea that you've been thinking of, and it'll give you some kind of answer. So there's a few that are here. Archangel Michael came through, which feels like it's purpose related. I know that I read you last week. I don't remember exactly what I said because I feel like I always talk really fast during these readings so that I don't try to I guess like edit the information too much. But I feel like didn't some kind of purpose card come forward for you last week? Because I feel like there's, again, like certain messages that almost are going to have to be like pounded into you until you're like, okay, yes, I get it. And I'm going to do something with that. So Archangel Michael showing up, always about purpose, kind of understanding and deepening your purpose. So I'm really feeling like it feels like you're at a standstill right now on this path, because you are meant to be figuring out your purpose. Yeah. Okay. Again, they're like, okay, we're going to reiterate this. And you have to figure out purpose before like the next door is going to open for you. So I just feel like it's this sense of sort of feeling stuck and almost like at this crossroads, because you're needing to discover that and understand where it is that you're headed before you can choose the right vehicle and path to get you there. And I don't want you to, I want you to really take that seriously. Like, I want you to really dive in and start taking action on that and integrating that into what you're doing, because I just feel like that's a really integral piece of this that has to fit in before you're going to feel like, okay, yes, this is it. Just like how you're talking about, like, I need to feel it. I'm trying to listen to my mind and body. I'm asking spirit for it. It's like, well, spirit's coming through loud and clear, this reading and the last one. I just pick it randomly. Out of all these cards, are coming through again, talking about purpose. So it's like, it's time for you to actually take action on that. The other one is talking about this dreamer card, this leap of faith, following your dreams, unexpected opportunities. It's that one. And so there's really this sense here that the things that you're looking at right now feel really limited. Like, I feel like you're looking at like this many possibilities when it's much, much bigger. And I think that it does feel connected, that once that purpose piece is sort of opening up the other pathways to it. But I feel like what you've been looking at and considering right now, it feels like it's very confining. And I think that that's, so basically, did I do the right thing? Can you clarify that? Because I want to make sure that I'm addressing what you're asking for. Okay. Did I make the right decision by not going through with it? Is that what you're asking? Clarify for me, and I'm going to assume that that's correct. Okay. Did I do the right thing by not going through with that program? Yeah, I'm getting a yes, that was the correct thing, but I think bigger picture, trying to point you in the right direction, because I think that you already know that you did the right thing, that you're just wanting more confirmation. But yes, that absolutely felt right. I want to talk to you about this card that's coming through purpose-wise. It's the Six of Water card. Sorry, guys. Sometimes you're going to just see my hand on Facebook, but that's just how it is today. It's okay. So it's talking about memories from history, childhood, issues regarding children, romanticizing the past. Sunshine, these cards feel very familiar. I almost feel like there's this element of deja vu. Are some of these like the same cards that you got last time? Because I don't know that for certain, but I feel like me and other people that this has been coming up a lot, and that it's going to keep coming up until something changes, until something happens. But what I feel like you're actually really being pointed towards, I don't see you typing back to me right now. You're artistic and bringing out the inner child. That's not exactly, I feel like this card actually is related to purpose, but I feel like what I'm getting from you with this card is the water cards are all about like the emotional elements of it. So I'm actually getting for you that there's sort of this deep dive, this inner journey that you're going on that gets you to the treasure, like all these little treasures down here that until you go on that, it feels like you've been doing a lot of the things that you do in life to move ahead. But I feel like there's deeper, not to say that you haven't started that, but I feel like there's even deeper, there's more layers for you to go. Because I do think that there's something very personal to you that is a part of your past, a thing that you have overcame, not necessarily like inner child stuff. I mean, if that resonates with you, go for it, do it. But it does feel like your purpose, like with most people, does have a relationship with that you've gone through your own hero's journey, and that you're at this place where you have your gifts and your skills and both the things that you've acquired and that you were just born with, and that you're now sort of turning back on the path and saying like, okay, like where can I be of service? So I feel like that's the part that I'm wanting you to get clear on. And I'm just naming that element of it because I feel like it's going to spark something in you. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that you're waiting for it to come to you. I think that there's things that you need to figure out first, very clearly on the purpose side, which I feel like maybe you feel like you've already gone further, but what I'm getting in the reading is that there's further to go for you, and that the clarity comes from you taking that step by diving deeper. There's times where just hoping to get support and network connections to get it going. Okay. Well, I think what you keep bringing up is very action oriented. And I think what I'm trying to point you towards is that there's the inner stuff that has to happen first for that to then attract the outer stuff. And so until you're in the right frequency and resonance, because you're really clear on the inner stuff, the outer stuff tends to not happen, or you have to work harder for it than you would otherwise. So I'm going to leave you with that. And I hope that that helps and serves you. Okay. So Jamie. Okay. Chelsea, did Jamie have a specific question? Okay. Hi, Jamie. Sorry, when I touch the phone, sometimes it starts to move around. Just a general reading. Jamie, you are so kind, but you're always welcome to be here and get a reading. Thanks, Sunshine. Thanks for coming back this week, too. Okay. Okay, Jamie. Hi. And if you guys haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, whether you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, you just have to search Ashley Bradley and you'll see it's just called Ashley Bradley, the Intuitive Business Coach. So join me there. Okay. Jamie. Okay. Jamie, the words that are coming to me right now is, and I'll just say it exactly how I heard it. It's that things are moving forward for you right now, but there's still one of the pieces that feels a little bit backwards. It's almost like, I guess the image that then comes with that is this puzzle piece, like that you're taking all the different pieces of the puzzle and you're putting them together and the picture's getting clearer, and that there's this piece that you have that you're trying to fit in and you're like, it's not fitting, and that it's like a matter of like turning it over and then all of a sudden it fits, but that you never like saw it or like realized it being like that, or that it could be like that it's sort of like this expansiveness of your mind. So there are two different cards. I'm going to start with the one that I feel is coming through more clearly right now, and it's this Magician card. And I'll show you that one first. Have you got this? Like, have I pulled this for you as well? Like, I feel like we'll see if this stays true for the rest of the time. And I feel like I probably need to, like, I just realized I've been doing some really long readings. Like, I probably need to go faster on these. But I do feel like you are just being reminded of your power. It's talking about you're ready. You have the resources. You have the ability to manifest them. Life is magical. So I just really want you to turn to, like, I feel like it feels like audios, meditations, affirmations, things that re-ground you in your ability, because maybe I feel some Abraham Hicks like for you as well. Like, it's when you're listening to those things and when it's constantly in your ear that like you are showing up at the best. So I just really want you to, it feels like it's like an infusing in the routine, which I feel like we have talked about like these routines before. It's weird. I'm not sure why I'm getting this, but I'm like getting this sort of weird pain in my ear. And I feel like it's something that's being communicated for you. Okay, so let me just connect. Let me see if this is correct, how I'm interpreting this. Okay, so I actually do feel like your intuitions are actually coming through quite strongly, like through synchronicities, meditation. Like, I don't know if you're pulling your own cards, but it's this sense of that you're not like hearing, you're not listening for it, that I feel like there's your spirit team on the other side being like, we're handing her all this stuff and she's just like not listening, and like we're giving it to her, we're handing it to her in many different ways, and they're like wanting you to like listen to it more, listen to yourself and not doubt it, because it just feels like there's a lot of doubt and questioning going on. The other card that's coming forward is about intimate relationships, weighing decisions and your health. And what I'm getting from this card for you is it's actually a relationship with yourself that I want you to specifically focus right now on heart and solar plexus, and finding more ways, I feel like, when those are working together, that everything else starts to just flow out of you and you find a lot of the answers. So thank you, Jamie. Okay, Tammy. Does Tammy have a specific question? And if you're just joining me right now on YouTube, all you have to do if you want to get in on these readings tonight is tell me that you want a reading and we'll get you in here. About Tammy's gifts. Okay. Whew. It was just like an energy shift with Tammy. That's why I did a little whew right there. Okay. I'm just tuning into you more, Tammy, before I turn the cards over. Let me see what Jamie was saying. Okay, good. Tammy. Okay. Tammy, I feel like your energy is really coming through. Very high vibrational, very high vibe. So I just wanted to mention that to you. Your energy is just feeling very good. I hope that you're feeling that right now as well, but you feel very good to connect with. And talking about your gifts. Okay, so there's a different archangel card that's coming forward for you, or pardon me, a different Archangel Michael card that's coming forward for you. And it is talking about this time of positive change, a situation that's moving forward, and fortune being on your side. And let me check on this because before I say it out loud to make sure I'm understanding this correctly. Tammy, have you felt drawn to supporting people in finding or discovering or getting more clear on their purpose? Because that's what I'm initially getting from you, that's actually a part of your, like, how you are utilizing your gifts and something that you're gifted in, that I see that there's something, it's sort of like things that click into place, like gears clicking into place that then set people into motion, or it allows them to go faster. Very much so. Okay. So I'm actually seeing that, that I guess I want you to know, like, the purpose with the gifts. And the other thing that I'm feeling is that you feel energy, like in a way more so than other people do. It actually feels like it's actually very different than ways that people feel. Can you see auras or energy at all? Like I almost feel like it's something that's like more visual. Like it's as if you can sort of see certain things that are out of alignment, sometimes too much. Okay. Yeah. That it's, yeah. And I'm also seeing that, that I don't know if you've noticed this, that like you sort of know and see something different about people that you're supposed to connect to that sort of need that gift, that you're just like automatically drawn to them. But I do feel like I want to highlight the purpose and getting into motion piece the most, because that seems to be like the biggest piece that I'm really feeling. The other one is talking about, and this is more in terms of the people that you serve. It's talking about like time to rest, take a vacation, allow more time before making a decision, meditation. Okay, so the people that I'm seeing, I pulled a card actually for like the people that you serve, and it feels like people that they have a lot going on in their lives, like that they don't slow down to like listen to themselves enough, and almost like they've built this entire you can't make the final decision. Okay. Yeah, it almost feels like they've like built this entire structure of their life based on what it like should look like versus what they want it to look like that purpose, that part of it that you're bringing in hasn't even been a like a big consideration, and that it's like that it's something about this person where it's like actually really hard and challenging for them to slow down, and that for them almost as if they would have thought that like doing that kind of like inner work or meditation like just didn't feel productive. But I definitely get the sense it feels very much like this like A-type, like go go go. Like I don't even know if you've it does feel like some of these people are like more elevated, like they feel like a C-level like corporate leaderships. I wouldn't be surprised if you start working in businesses and with teams at some point, because it does feel like there's that there's something that you bring that you open people's minds to when it comes to slowing down. So I hope that that makes sense and gives you more clarity business wise. Okay, so who do we have next? Thank you, Tammy. Thank you. And I wanted to tell you guys, I just announced, if you're not in my Prosperous Rebel group, which is my Facebook community, you're welcome to join me there as well. But I'm hosting a free workshop in there that's called Discovering Your Own Compelling Story. And it's going to be a week from tomorrow, Tuesday, July 9th at 6 Pacific. And it's basically all about like discovering that there is something compelling about your story that's worth telling, that is connecting to other people, that starts to really pull people in and be kind of fascinated with what you're doing and what you have to offer. And I think we really discount our own stories and journeys, and we think like, oh, we want to listen to that. Like, I don't have some crazy dramatic thing that's like TED Talk worthy, but I think when you start to look at it from different perspectives or from a different lens, that you start to realize that there is something really good and awesome about it. So join me in that Facebook community if you guys want to be a part of doing that workshop. I host special things for that group, so you got to join if you want to be a part of it. Hi, Molly. Okay. So Molly, the first thing that I'm getting, and I feel like I picked up on this a little bit, but it feels like a slightly different quality than last time. It's like this, a little bit of this nervous energy. Like I feel like my hands keep moving. Like I feel like you're in this place of trying to keep yourself busy to distract yourself from it right now. But it just feels like, I just was moving things around everywhere and sort of readjusting. And so that's fine. I feel like, honestly, it feels like that's sort of working for you and serving you. So I think that's totally fine. I'm just going to pull a card just to see what's coming up for you in general right now. Okay. So it's this 7 of Air card. The actual card itself, and then we'll sort of go into it a little bit more, is it's talking about plans that might need a little bit revision. I'm actually hearing it's more fine tuning, that there's more going on that meets the eye, and that there's this like timing thing that's going on right now. Rearranging. Yeah. Starting over. Yeah. I know that there's, I know, I guess what I want, what I really want to get across right now is that if it might feel sometimes like you're going in circles, like it might feel sometimes like your head is sort of spinning from all of this, or that you're going in circles in a way that it doesn't feel like you're getting anywhere. But I do feel like there's some, because of the bold decisions that you've made for yourself, that I feel like a lot of that is more like your perception on it. So I do want you to play with looking at yourself and where you're at right now from a different perspective, because I think that you're going to see that there's actually a lot more progress and movement happening for you than what you actually are giving yourself credit for right now. Because I do feel like you need to give yourself a little bit more credit at the moment. I do feel like whenever I get this card, do you see the horses that have like, trying to see it? There's like these little carousel horses, but do you see that there's these horses that have like broken off and like are like, fuck this, like we're out of here. I'll show you guys too if you want to see it. I feel like you are a lot of these decisions and choices that you've made, that you've decided that you're no longer subscribing to what you should be doing. Like I feel like you're cutting out all of the shoulds from your life right now. So I definitely want you to recognize that and again, like start giving yourself more credit, because I just feel like there's all of these wins that are happening and that you seem to be in this place of maybe not recognizing the power of the choices that you're making. And so, yeah, I know you are. And so I definitely, yeah, I just want you to know like how the imagery is coming across for you right now. And I just think you need to be celebrating the wins, like even more, because I just feel like you set the bar like very high for yourself, which I think is like, it's like a value that you're accomplishment oriented, but sometimes that value goes a little bit rogue and you end up starting to like kind of discredit or think that things aren't a big deal. So I just want you to watch for that and just start taking in those wins a little bit more. But thank you, Molly. Thank you. Okay, who do we have next, Chelsea? Nicole. Nicole says, good afternoon from Australia. Hi, Nicole. Lovely to meet you. My first time here. May I please have a reading? Getting a bad feeling about a female coworker at my job. What do you think is going on? Okay. I will tell you before I pull these cards that I feel like these cards they're probably going to be centered around you and how you show up from the situation. But we'll see what comes across. Okay. Okay. So first question for you, Nicole, do you have like a piece of jewelry? Like it actually almost feels like a gemstone. It could be some kind of ring, but do you have a piece of jewelry that you like sometimes wear? Because I do feel like they're talking about something that sort of tunes you into a certain frequency, vibration, but it's actually, I see it as kind of like a necklace, but I don't know if there's something that you wear sometimes, but not all the time. I'm trying to see if I can. I'm trying to see, but I can't see it that much from the comments. But sorry. In my scrolling, I accidentally turned you around to my office wall. Okay. So the Three of Air card is coming forward. It's talking about great sadness, taking time to heal, the need to forgive yourself for others, which again, like I had the feeling, I feel like there's this other situation, but a lot of the information that I get, especially when anyone brings a situation in, like if you were to bring that situation into a coaching session, I would always see it as like an opportunity for you to grow from, since it's not like we can like coach that other person or have a conversation with that other person. And so that was my sense, is that these cards would be aligned with that as well, since your spirit team always wants you to grow and to take every situation and to look at it and say, like, what is it about this situation? What is it triggering in me that it's unsettling, that it doesn't feel right, that it's impacting me in this way? And so I do want you, I want you actually to take some time, like to journal and look within yourself to see what feels tender, what feels like it's being triggered within you. Because I think that when you start to see that there is something within you that you're going to then be able to identify the healing. It feels like something, it feels like something related to like being liked and loved that you've probably had for a while. I mean, a lot of us as human beings want that, but it does feel like something that like almost goes back into to from childhood. I almost like get that sense of like, the sense of sort of being picked last. Not that I feel like you were ever unpopular or anything, but that sense of like disappointment from not being picked, first, or being picked as one of the last people, and that sense of sort of disappointment. So I just want you to kind of look within, because I think that this is a really great opportunity for growth for you. And the other thing that's coming up is that there's, okay, interesting. This other card's talking about abundance and a business venture and documents or contracts that might be coming up in your future. And so what I want you to also see is I'm getting the sense that like things, this like toxic sort of work environment is coming right now, because the universe has a way of, if we're not making bold moves and choices for ourselves, of sort of pushing us out, of making it unbearable. So I almost feel like this situation is playing out as a nudge for you in another direction. Have you thought like about a business? I actually get the sense that there's something that you have always wanted to do, or that you've sort of like played around with it, but you haven't really ever dived into it seriously. I'm not sure if you're typing to me or not. Oh, the black tourmaline. Okay. Yeah. In regards to the black tourmaline, I do want you to keep that. I mean, that's a really grounding stone. So I feel like in regards to this other coworker, like I just want you, I'd rather just focus on you staying grounded in your own vibration and make it about you, because who cares what's going on with her? It's like that stuff that's going on with her, that's like her own stuff, her own journey, that it actually doesn't even really feel significant. Like the only thing that feels significant is like your healing and your growth from this, which I want you to journal on if you will take on that commitment. And I want you to know that there's something more, something bigger that you're being nudged towards through that situation, and to start taking that more seriously, because I feel like you haven't been open to the possibility. So thank you, Nicole. I hope that you will come back again. Chelsea, what do we have next? If you're on YouTube, I haven't seen anyone comment other than Sunshine yet over here on YouTube, but let me know and we'll get you in on these readings tonight. Just trying to see who's up next here. Sylvia says, I would love to get a reading. Perfect. Okay. Sylvia, are things feeling for you right now like I get this sense of disorganization, of chaos, of that you're trying to hold it together. Like I also feel like you're trying to like hold it in. Like I feel like there's kind of like almost like an emotional dam that's up, that's sort of like that you're really like trying to like maintain composure for something. Is that correct with how you're feeling? Because that's how I'm reading your energy right now. So you tell me if that's landing for you. Okay. And it might not even be like a dramatic, like all across life thing, but it might just be in one aspect. So we'll see what we're getting from the reading, and maybe it'll open some things up. I can't say that I'm right 100% of the time, but a lot of the time. So the Two of Fire card is what's coming up. I did ask about a challenge. If there's, I wanted to get more information about a challenge. And what's being talked about on this card is that you are coming into your own, that there's some type of new partnerships or contracts, and it's also about this stage of continuing to move forward. It does feel, I mean, I try to focus on business primarily. I don't know if this one is specifically tied to business, but it does feel related to relationship for you. And it feels, it also feels like there's a person's energy that's involved in this, that's sort of hovering in the background, that they're not necessarily actively involved in creating this situation, but that I feel like there's this like third person that's somehow involved. So it could be something from the past. Like, I mean, it could even be like a loss of someone and the grieving process, or a friendship, or some kind of relationship with a family member that's still impacting you, but that it feels like it's weaved into the situation, but not directly connected. Is this making sense? Are you understanding what I'm meaning by this? Because I do feel like a part of you, this card that's talking about, I don't know if I showed this to you, a part of this card that's talking about you coming into your own. It feels like there's this cutting of ties it's mostly of energetic. It's mostly of energetic ties. Like, I feel like you have energy that you're putting out, that you're giving to a certain person or situation. And I don't know that you're aware that it's sort of depleting you, but if you have been feeling a little bit more tired or depleted lately, like it feels like there's energy of yours that's tied to this situation. I'm not clear on exactly their relationship to you, but it just feels like your energy is still going there. So honestly, you don't even have to understand what it is, but I want you to look up or focus on just like a cutting of these energetic cords, of releasing those things that no longer serve you, because I just feel like there's this, it almost feels as if it's like, would be like you dragging around this like this anchor, this like weight. It's not so much that it's stopping you from moving forward, but it's slowing you down a little bit. And I think that it sounds like you might not even be aware of it, but if you do get that sense of that you wish that you were moving forward at like a greater pace, or that you had sort of more energy or more momentum when you were doing it, like I feel like that's why. And a lot of this sort of inner releasing work is actually going to be tied to you moving forward into the next thing. The other card that's coming through, that's representing you kind of within professional endeavors right now, is this Queen of Fire card. It's talking about stretching your wings and fly, that you don't underestimate yourself, that you really need to assert your independence and creativity. And so this card is a lot of like returning to the wildness within you. So I feel like things just feel a little bit more muted or too, like like the volume's been turned down a little bit. It's almost as if you've left off certain pieces of you to sort of fit into. It feels like a career. Sylvia, are you still working for somebody else? Or do you fully have your own business? Because I just feel like there's parts of you that are not being fully expressed. If it is in your business, it would be more in terms of you fitting into like a certain energy. And I'm also feeling there's a holding back of fully speaking your truth. Okay. Yeah. So I'm just feeling like in that process of what you do professionally or in your career, that there's these parts of you that you've forgotten about or left behind that they're really wanting to come out and reemerge. And so I just want you to get back in touch with whatever that wildness was within you and just start to reflect on the time when you just felt most alive in your life, most vibrant within your life. I still feel like all the colors are there for you, but it just feels like much more muted and tuned down than what it used to be. So I do want you to ponder that and think about when you felt at your most aliveness. It doesn't feel like things are necessarily bad or negative, but I feel like there's more for you. And I think that you know that. Like there's more than this, and it's okay to want more. And I think that this is a time for you to get clear on what more looks like and what else you want to bring out in your life. So thank you, Sylvia. Do we have someone that is next, Chelsea? Was that everyone, Chelsea? Oh, Jacinta. Okay. Okay. Jacinta, you're going to be my last one tonight. And we'll go from there. And if you didn't get one this week, I always tell people that if they join Monday, 7 Pacific, it's always at the same time, whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube, that if you're one of the first people that's showing up right in the first 5 minutes, that you're always most likely going to get a reading, until there's just like one day hundreds of people. But as of right now, in the foreseeable few sessions, you will get it if you hop on. So just keep that in mind for next time. Okay. So, okay. There's a few cards that fell out. So I'm going to go through these quickly, and I feel like they're just sort of, I'm not going to read to any of the aspects that I usually read to. The 8 of Earth card is coming up, talking about skilled work being rewarded, learning all there is to know about a topic, going back to school. So I feel like there's a lot of personal development that's going on for you, that you have been, it feels like almost like a studying of yourself, kind of a diving into yourself. But I just want to acknowledge like this time of growth for you, because it does seem like you've been working really hard and diligently. Have you been reading, like listening to a lot of audiobooks lately? Like I was going to say reading, but then it feels more like that there's something that you're listening to learn from as well. Okay. Yeah. So they're really acknowledging that. The other thing that's coming up, it's this Page of Water card. It's representing the qualities of intuitive, sensitive, artistic, friendly. It's talking about relationships, but I'm actually getting more, again, the relationship with yourself. It's talking about these heightened psychic abilities. So, is this kind of stuff like fairly new for you, Jacinta? Like, do you have like a newfound interest, like in the last 6 months or so, in diving into either your own sense of spirituality or intuition or spiritual gifts? Because I feel like there's something emerging here that feels it feels like this place of discovery. And so I guess I'm just curious if you're aware of it, and that some of it is coming through your emotional experiences that you haven't quite like experienced them in the same way before. Interesting that you just talked. Okay. But what I'm curious about you confirming for me is the more spiritual side. Like, have you recently had more interest in spiritual topics, things like manifesting, law of attraction, intuition? Like, I feel like those are the kinds of things that you've been diving deeper into or having more curiosity with lately. It's interesting that you talked about that you're studying around helping people with disabilities due to your own disabilities, because the other card that came through that literally like jumped out of the deck for you was this life experiences card. So I want you to look up this archangel that's coming up with the card. This that's coming up in the card, Archangel Chamuel. It's spelled Chamuel, because I think that there's going to be a deeper message in there for you. But this card right here actually always represents, you're getting back into it. Okay, that would make sense. This card right here always, it's always representing like that there's challenges or things that were once perceived as darkness in your past, and that you're taking something and like planting new seeds and sprouting from new seeds, basically from something that was a big challenge. So that would totally make sense that you are basically taking your own journey and then you're using it to serve other people. I don't know if there was something specific that you were curious about, but I would just say that the sense that I'm getting from these cards collectively is that you are on the right path, that in addition to the studying, the book studying that you're doing, that you're meant to be doing a lot of personal development studying as well. And that there's the big thing that I feel like I'm wanting to point you towards is that diving in deeper to the emotional aspects of your journey, because I feel like there's healing and growth that comes out of that that's tied to what you're bringing to people next in terms of like your purpose and where you're going to make an impact. So thank you, Jacinta. So Jacinta was the last one. I always wrap up at 8 Pacific. I go for an hour. So we are at the top of the hour now. If you guys are just hopping on, I invite you to come back next week. I also have a general read tonight, or that I posted this morning, I guess, pardon me, for the whole week. So it's starting for the week of July 1st, and it's a business reading that carries us through the entire week. So that is on my YouTube channel. You can subscribe there and you can make sure you're getting all the content. You can set reminders to make sure that you're joining me on time for these. But thank you guys very much, and I will see you next week. Give me a moment as I have to end.